Hello everyone, welcome back. Today, I have a few things in mind. Seems our fox friend is back. I have compiled a list of things I want to accomplish before winter, as well as some long-term goals for this world. Maybe more specifically for this area. I don't want to say for this world because I don't know if the new updates coming out are going to make it worth it to start a new world once I have accomplished these long-term goals. But I do have a few short-term ones for before winter. The first one is making lanterns, which, as you can hear in the background, my bees are all going. It's been a few days since the last episode. It is now the 8th of September. We got our bees set up last episode, and some of them are ready for harvest, but we're going to wait until they're all ready. More specifically this one, because this one's going to be staying right where it is. Anyway, I would like to get started on a greenhouse, as well as make lanterns. To accomplish this, I've collected a few materials. I'm sure you've seen the slab of stone over here. Found that vein of marble. I don't remember which episode it was, when I was prospecting over here. And I just cut out a decent chunk of white marble. I don't know if it'll be enough for everything. But yes, I grabbed all of these, as well as some slate, maybe for a roof. Over here, I have some copper cooking up, which we are going to turn into plates. Oh, I also made some more ingot molds. As well as, I turned all of the fire clay that we collected into bricks. However, upon doing a little more research, I don't think I'm going to be making a beehive kiln before winter. It's a significant iron investment that I'm just not ready for. However, I did cook up some of that marble into quicklime. You grind it down into powdered lime and then cook it in a fire pit with charcoal. Turns it into quicklime. So we now have all the makings for mortar. Because if you remember, we did not use up all of our sand over here. We still have 2 stacks. So we're going to go do that really quick. We're going to make some mortar while that's cooking up. And then we will hammer out some plates. And then when our bees are ready to harvest, we can turn those into lanterns and light this place up a little more. By my math, I'm cooking up enough copper, and that's finished, to make 6 lanterns, because it's 2 bars per plate, 1 plate per lantern. Also, in between episodes, let me put this coal in here really quick. Also, in between episodes, I went exploring a little bit. Made a ton more charcoal, which I'm sure you can see right here. I just dug out a little pit. Got a whole bunch of pine trees out over here. I don't know if it's going to show up wherever that mountain was. I think it was over here, maybe? Been having issues with things generating on the minimap. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, so while those are cooling off and that one's cooking up, I think we go make some mortar. Medium rift activity, so we might not be able to go outside all that much, but we can at least get the mortar made. Oh, also, in between episodes, I got fed up with the setup, and I rearranged some things. It's a little more open in here. I just wanted more space for the future. I think I want to have a pottery wheel in here at some point, so that's coming. Also, Now that we have marble, I can turn these into marble top tables, kind of beautify the kitchen a little bit. And behind these tables is the new cellar access. One of the goals with making lanterns is to expand the cellar and create a space for wine and juice and things like that, because I don't know if you've noticed, but our berries are almost ready for harvest. So I probably won't be turning all of these copper ingots into plates. I will likely be saving several of them, or at least one, for a copper rod to make a juicer. But anyway, without further ado, I think there's a bucket up there. Oh, and I put glass in this window. I cooked up a significant amount of glass for the greenhouse because there is a quartz deposit right there. I believe, yes, leather is also done. I don't think these barrels have anything else in them. Yeah, so we should be good to go. Alright, so doing the math, 1 liter of slaked lime for every piece of sand. $38. Open this up. We'll just keep adding. It should be 48 quicklime then. Yeah, 48 liters of slaked lime. And then for every one of those, we need 1 piece of sand. Unless I'm interpreting that wrong. Or maybe I cannot use bauxite sand for mortar. I want to make some small animal cages for the piglets, as they will be the next generation. And whenever they give birth, which should be sometime soon, they've been pregnant for about a month now. I'm not sure how long pregnancy lasts. But once they give birth, I think I'll dedicate an episode to building a barn, which is also one of my pre-winter short-term goals. Well, I don't think we have to ruin the water line, but we can harvest the stuff over here. Almost all my blackberries or black currants are ready for harvest, so I think I'm gonna have to it's throwing me off. The stairs used to be over here. I might harvest them and keep them down in the cellar for a while, and we'll get to making the iron rod. Actually, speaking of that, I should check this guy. Okay, he's ready. And we'll pour all of these. Well, alright then. That back, getting that back up. We will continue on our upstairs project. Mixing mortar in a barrel. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this in real life, but it is a very labor-intensive process. I'm glad I can just dump sand in here and make 384 mortar. I don't know. Oh, you know what? All I needed was a full stack because I had a full stack of quicklime. Oh well, we might make some later. But we're gonna go ahead and add. So shift, add that. See, that's 12. So actually, we need 4 to make 16 liters of slaked lime and another 128 mortar. Alright. That should keep us going for a considerable amount of time, and we'll put our bucket down. So don't lose track of it. We're going to go put this sand back. I guess that sand is only good for wattle and daub, or I don't know. We're going to put our glass in the project box as well. Then we're going to grab a few chisels. I believe this one. Bricks, yeah. So this is all modded. In reality, if you wanted to make ashlar blocks, you would first start out with a polished rock. So you remember in episode 1 when we went and relieved andesite by digging out all the blocks around it so it drops as a whole block? Yeah, you have to do that. Then you polish it with a chisel to get polished rock. And then you take a chisel to it again to make 2 slabs. And then you take another chisel to it to turn that into 4 ashlar blocks. Very material intensive way to make ashlar blocks. One could argue that it's pretty historical. That is indeed how you used to have to do it. Maybe the polishing was done after the fact, but regardless. So you come over to your slab that you cut out of the ground. And I guess I could do a tutorial on how to run splitter plugs, but we'll save that for another day. And as part of the mod, you can get close to it and you can see, you hold Control and left click, and you look up at the top. That is not what I meant to do. You can cycle through different rocks inside of the same slab. So we're going to set these over there. So now that we have white marble selected, white marble ashlar does not exist. I don't know why I didn't look that up. It didn't even register. I really wanted to show off ashlar blocks with the greenhouse, so I'm committed to the bit at this point. So you can see you get a significant amount out of these, and that's almost why I prefer making ashlar to doing dry stone. It feels like it's a lot less block investment. You use a lot less durability. But anywho, our mortar is on us, so we're just going to set that in the middle. And this should give us a decent amount of ashlar to work with. Yep. 3 1/3 stacks, almost. That'll be plenty for this little project. So we're going to come over here and we're going to chop down all these fences. You can see our flax is almost done. So I was really looking forward to getting started on this project because I knew that here in like the next day or two, all of our flax is going to be ready to harvest. And then I'm going to want to get started on a windmill. And I did not mean to do that. That's ridiculous. Yeah, you can still fill it up. So you can waterlog all of these glass panes. It allows you to place lanterns or whatever light source you see fit inside of your farm to prevent drifters from spawning. Okay, so we're just going to line the walls with this ashlar stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should give us a nice 2 wide, 2 high window to peek out of. That is 20. Yeah, we have more than enough for this project. right there. And then, while I would like to have glass, well, I might do it anyway. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Screw it. We'll have that wide open, and we'll just close up the front with some double doors. Alright, so now, I think, as far as the roof goes, we do have a few options. The roof only has to be half, it only needs to be half glass. So maybe I'll have some logs up like this. Hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I guess I still have to get those. But this is the greenhouse, more or less complete. And we can test it out by going and getting a solid door. Or maybe it'll... Yeah, no. You need to go and get a solid door, I think. And there should be... Yes. We'll go and set this door. Oh, I need 2 of them. So I need more boards. Yeah. Gotta put a double door in the front. Alright. Now it is sealed. I believe. So we're going to walk inside. You can see it says 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Close the doors. Plus 9 degrees Fahrenheit from the greenhouse. So we should be able to grow a decent amount of rye well into winter. We might even try for another flax harvest, although nutrient levels are not what they could be in here. So we need 2 logs and a saw. All right then. Well, with that little side project out of the way, I think we lean this. Don't think I can do that. We'll hang it up there, and we're gonna go get started on all our plates. Copper lantern. Yeah, 2 clear quartz and a single copper plate with a candle. And candle is 3 beeswax and a flax fiber. So I need 18 beeswax, which 5 times 6 is 30. So we'll still have enough from our first harvest to seal some crocs. And we may even get another harvest out of it before winter, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, this is up to temperature now, so I'm gonna get started, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Alright, task complete. It only took till 6 o'clock the next morning. If you can't tell, smithing is not my favorite activity in the game. It can be quite tedious. But what's done is done. You have 6 copper plates. Calm Rift activity. Let's go check in our beehives really quick. This one's not ready. This one is. So is this one. And this one. So I think we go make 3 more skips and harvest those. Maybe we'll make a scarecrow while we're at it. Another bucket. Maybe with some vines. This will be our honey bucket. I think you can squeeze it directly into a barrel, but I don't feel like doing that. So this will only make 3 lanterns. Little unfortunate, but the things that I want to light up, I don't think. So originally I wanted to light up this area with 1, but it already it needs a torch in here, so I don't see the point in lighting it up with a lantern. Kind of the same thing in here. Don't really see the point because I need a torch for these. Same in the blacksmith. So I think we'll have a lantern up in the bedroom. Maybe we'll have one kind of on this chimney that kind of covers this front yard area. And then we might have one kind of out here. Don't really see the point in that. So the real goal was to get rid of these. I want to relocate these around the base. Don't necessarily need lanterns outside, but I definitely want them inside the house. But anywho, let's go make these candles. So we're gonna need some flax. So this one's good to go. Those are all new. I really would like to make as many lanterns as possible. We'll go squeeze this into the bucket. And we will make, we're gonna need one more flax fiber. And maybe we'll just light it up with one of these logs. And so the next thing we're going to need, so we'll put 2 away in here. Next thing we're going to need is some clear quartz. I'll need 8 of those. Once this is done cooking. Alright. Let's put this in the middle. And we have 4 copper lanterns, which you can already see, even at 10 in the morning. Much brighter. Much gooder. So we're going to come down here. We, I'm going to light that up down there. Not too many bad guys. We'll just clear him out. Let's put this down here to prevent any more spawns. Bow and arrow. Garbage. So that'll prevent more drifters from spawning underneath the base. It's almost kind of convenient because it keeps them from spawning up on the surface. But listening to it all day long, that gets old. Alright, so up to the bedroom. Grab this. Grab these 2. Let's put a lantern roughly center in here, and that should prevent spawns inside of here. And we'll grab this and that guy, and we will put a lantern on the side of the chimney. And that should light this whole area up as well. And I think I'm going to keep one on me for running around at night. I'm just going to dot these guys around in different places. Maybe one there. Maybe one guy here. Another guy right here. And that should keep this place lit up pretty well, I think. Let's go put all this stuff away and get started on the next project, which is a juicer for all our berries. So, copper rod, fat, 2 resin, 12 boards, chisel, and a hammer. Make a fruit press. I did make another hammer while I was forging all those plates, because this one is just about done. I might get one more item out of it. Highly doubt it, though. Alright, so I think for now we're going to set up our fruit press things on the back porch, and actually I need to take that out of my offhand so it stops draining hunger. Set this guy down right here. I think 4 should be plenty. You see we have blueberries, we have red currants, and cranberries, but I do want to harvest these so you can get kind of an idea of how much of a harvest you should expect from your own berry farm. There's a cranberry bush over here. We'll stick that guy over here. We have more black currants on this corner, as well as over here. And actually, I should probably just move these. Alright. We can actually come over here with shears and trim all these up before winter comes, which I might do. That'll be kind of in between episodes. Actually, some of y'all might not have seen that before, so I'll just go ahead and do it on camera right now. It does make things look neater. If you're kind of going for the overgrown look, you might want to avoid doing that, but me personally, I kind of like having neat bushes. So we're going to trim them up. They grow back pretty fast. So just right click, prune. And actually in real life, I believe this is about when you would do it. You would trim them up as they flower to try and get them to put more energy into making fruit. That's in real life though. I do not think it works like that in the game. And I think before winter, or after winter hits and we stop making fruit, I'm going to gather all of my berry bushes up and set them up in such a way that it's a little more organized. They're kind of all over the place right now, and I'm not a fan. So when you want to make juice, you get your fruit press all set up, and then you take your berry, in this case red currant, and you look at this and you can see the tooltip up there. It says add fruit or add a stack of fruit with control right click. So add a stack of fruit. It's about 30, I believe. Maybe it's 32. And then you just right click, and it will squeeze all of the juice into that bucket below there. You just wash that mass. The mash produces this thing, and when it turns to dry mash, you'll uncompress that, grab your mash, then you will grab your bucket and put it in a barrel. If you do not do that, you will overflow all that juice onto the floor, and there's no getting it back after that. It's a very big waste. Alright. All done. So as far as the cranberries go, 36 was not enough. 38 cranberries was not enough to get a second press out of it. Just kind of turns it into wet cranberry mash. Then you can't really do anything with it. So yeah, that's gonna get tossed. At least as far as I'm aware, you can't do anything with it. The dry mash, however, you can either feed it to your pigs, or you can let it turn into rot. There's an argument to be made either way. But given as this juice is good for around about 2 months, 1.5 months anyway, I think next episode we're going to go, or maybe in between episodes, I'm going to go and grab a whole bunch of berries and bring them back home. I know there's tons and tons of berries out that way that I could maybe harvest. And well, I wanted to show off the lighting in here, but it seems the game has other plans for me, so we're gonna sleep through this temporal storm. 5 o'clock in the morning, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Look at how much light this place has now. Marked improvement in visibility at night. Granted, we do have a full moon, so that could have something to do with it. I am pretty pleased with how the light spacing turned out. I'm going to make a cage, or a couple of cages actually, for these 2 pigs. And we're going to let those piglets grow up in the barn up there. I'm hoping that they will be fully domesticated, as I will have been feeding them from birth. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, I have to wait. Well, these might end up just turning into rot. A little unfortunate. It's free pig feed. But it's okay. We have plenty of flax. Look at that. A couple more pumpkins. Seems to be doing better with the pre-fertilized soil than it did with the other stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pre-fertilize a lot of my soil. I think that about wraps up this episode. We got lanterns up and going. Winter is right on the horizon, it seems, actually. It's October. October 2nd, to be exact. And that whole mountain is white. I think that's just due to elevation. But it is 32 degrees Fahrenheit out here. I should probably go check my flax crop. Yeah, these should mature. I'll probably harvest all of those in between episodes. But we might not get any more bees if it's gonna get this cold this quick. I didn't think this little bit of elevation would make that much of a difference, but apparently so. So I don't think we're gonna get all of our goals done before winter. But at least the greenhouse is made. Actually, if I remember right, rye does pretty well in the wintertime. You see, rice seeds, yeah, down to 10 degrees. So realistically, as long as it's above like 1 or 2 degrees Fahrenheit out here, we should be alright. I'm going to do a little bit of prep work in between episodes for our next project, which is going to be a barn for our piglets once they are born. I'm thinking about starting to move down here, kind of make use of this area, because I did build a big old staircase going down there. Would be a little silly not to use it. Maybe I'll shore up some of this, prevent animals from hopping in and stealing all my berries, because I think that's exactly what happened over here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.